Hello, and welcome to another art stream. I'm going to be doing some more work on these character designs for the March art challenges. So I thought I'm going to just start with some figure drawing just while everyone comes in, and then I'm going to finish up this one, and we can start on the next one. Okay. Okay. Let's get our reference up. I was having internet connection issues earlier, so I kind of messed with everything. That's why it's part of the reason why I'm late. So I figured trying to fix that issue. Seems to be working. Hopefully, if it crashes though, I might have to. Then don't surprise that that's it. Put this over here so I can. This was pretty. I hope everyone had a good week. That was pretty good. Made it to the weekend, so I can't complain, I guess. And they look really good, so I'm pretty excited. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I started listening to some of my old podcasts again. It's been so long. I kind of like fell into like just listening to YouTube for a while, and it's kind of nice to go back and just listen to some of these older podcasts I listened to from back in the day. Because some of them are more like folklore and that kind of stuff, which will give me more to talk about on here. I realize that might be part of the reason why I've been so quiet. It's not just that I'm tired, it's maybe I'm kind of like unintentionally cut myself off from my information. Interesting. Kind of very. I don't know why I'm drawing. I guess probably because I'm gonna be drawing mostly girls for the art challenge, but because I thought I'm like, why am I drawing guys right now? There's not really gonna help me in a second, but I guess probably just because it's just if I end up doing my comic, it will help me because I have Richard and I have a bunch of other characters in the next part of the story, so. Good to stay sharp. Yeah, one of the podcasts I listened to that I forgot all about was this one on animation where they're talking about like some of the older shows, and they were bringing up this episode of the Adventures of Superman that I really liked, called The Late Mr. Kent, where it's about Superman trying to protect a wrongfully accused person, but as Clark, ugh, sorry my tongue. And it's kind of just cool that like it was this like more like higher stakes kind of situation for a guy who usually you're not used to having like mundane things threaten him. All of a sudden, with his identity coming at risk, it makes an interesting story, because he like suddenly realizes that something happens, and it kind of makes it so he might not be able to be Clark Kent anymore. And if I haven't seen it all, I don't want to spoil it, but it's really good. I also found out today that from some folklore that I looked up on a specific type of fae creature in Irish Celtic folklore that called fae Lauren, I think is what it's called. I'll have to look at the pronunciation again. It's an Irish werewolf, and it's based around there's different situations that involve them. Like sometimes they were curses. They were cursed, but in a different kind of way. But they weren't really seen the same way as like other werewolves were portrayed in other stories. They were kind of more just a very animalistic version of like a creature mixed with a human. Like in many of them, like where they were cursed, it was the punishment was that they had to be a wolf but they had the intelligence of a human. And the interesting thing is that the St. Patrick was the one that was involved in those stories. Where they showed him disrespect. These Celtic people showed him disrespect, and then they were punished by being stuck as wolves because they were mocking him with wolf calls. Pretty interesting. But they don't have all the... These things don't have... These kind of werewolves don't have the, like, curses that, like, other stories had, where, like, they hunt down family members or loved ones, that kind of stuff. It's just... It's... Probably because, like, they see them just differently than other parts of the world did. Because there was kind of more of a power kind of dynamic to them. Like that movie Wolfwalkers was more how they kind of portrayed how they saw them, where it's like kind of like this closeness to nature and yeah. Interesting. I mean, it's really cool finding out about this stuff. That one I found out through a YouTube channel. I'll look it up again, but I'll be sure to recommend it next time I find it. I was thinking about making my bounty hunter character based around that kind of werewolf, where it's more like his bloodline was marked and was given this like druid ability of controlling and choosing when they could become wolves. So, like, even though there's that whole fight, he has a bigger form where he's just a wolf. Where he's much more powerful, which was a big sign of why he purposely held back because he wasn't intending to be a deadly force. He was going for, like, a controlled form where he could, like, where he felt more comfortable and where he could enjoy the fight more. Should work on some poses and then we'll get into the characters. Because today is Moon, so I'm trying to think of what would be a good beast for the Moon. The obvious one would be like some kind of like a werewolf, but I wanted to try something different. Like, oh, I'm trying to think of something. So I'm kind of blanking on fairy folk that are connected with the moon right now. Let me see if I can even just Google it really quick. Oh, there actually are just moon fairies. All right, there's the what was it? The original story for Jack Frost in The Guardians or whatever it was called was more about like him being from the moon, like the Prince of the Moon or something like that. Or I forget. It's but there was a kid's book about it. Then it, with was it Richard Scarry that did the? I think someone, I forget the name of the. Sorry, one more second. I just want to make sure I. Here we go. Well, these just weren't. Deities are on the moon, obviously, but. Oh, there's a serpent apparently in Egypt. Okay, interesting. Sorry, I just wanted to see if I could find some cool ideas for a Monster Girl. I'll do some poses and then we'll get back. We'll get back to this. Also, if you're well, it's kind of hard to see because I'm in the way, but well, I guess not really. If you look carefully, you can see the like that's some of the interface is different because they up. This is some of the updates, I guess, in the newest version of Clip Studio. I like that it's not as big of a change as it has been in the past, so I don't mind. lucked out today because I was worried. There was like a crazy snow flurry earlier, and like right before I left work, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, it just calms down right as I was leaving. Because I was like, I looked outside on my last break, and I was just like, I guess I can just try and just have some, to just make something caffeinated or whatever. But then it got better, so I was able to go out and get something to drink, like some new coffee to get. Thankfully. Oh, I got the post totally wrong. Whoops. Kind of have an idea though. Since I don't want to undo everything I just did, I can just do this. Yeah, that should do it. Moon. What can we do for moon? Well, did they come out? I'm trying to remember if they come out. I don't think they come out with the moon though. They come out any night. I was almost drew a Dullahan, but they don't have to follow the moon. They come out whenever they want. They're a type of reaper that lives in from Celtic folklore that rides on horse, kind of like the Headless Horseman. Well, not kind of like. The Headless Horseman is essentially a Duahan. It's in some versions they changed the Headless Horseman to be a Hessian, which is fun, interesting because of the folklore, but I think that might have been just for the more modern movies. I don't think that they ever said in the older stories what nationality the horseman was. I guess I can make her a banshee. Not really the moon though. That'd be more. No, I'll do the. This will be the banshee for the scream prompt. They purposely just. I always thought that that was interesting. That like for some reason, in some stories, I mean, they're definitely not a welcome sound, but banshees aren't actually like. At least they're more of a morose kind of creature than a like evil. They're not actually like causing any ill will or any anything bad to happen to the person. That they're just warning you essentially that something's coming. Maybe make like their face have tears on it. I might maybe make their hair flow a little bit more since this is to make it look more like a. Just to give it a different feel. Yeah, I kind of like this character. I'm going to do a couple more poses with her. I was going to do like a one where she's. Hang on. Yeah, let's do a full-on scream for one of them, just so that she can have a little bit more. Okay. how any of these are related. Yeah, reaction. That's why. I was trying to do there was so many when I should have figured when I did the stream it was the old like slasher movie. Darn. Why is this so hard? Like, it's funny how like all the really like strong. That's weird. If I did this on a movie site, I could find some actresses doing really good poses with the Scream. There we go. Found one. I just had to type in pose. Okay. You can have her hands covering your eyes. Mine are folded in your skin when you scream. Your face is like not a flattering look. It's ironic that I look so hard for this drawing and the pose, and then I ignore like a large portion of it. But I really just wanted to get the body pose part of the pose right, because I wasn't too worried about the face, since I was gonna have it covered anyway. Yeah, she's... I forgot, there's one of the characters in Ancient Magus Bride, the housekeeper. She's a of the, of the creature that the main character, uh, the Magus, essentially. He's not human. He's this. I think he's like a forest spirit, like a Leshen, but I don't think at least not in the third, they haven't really said yet. But I think that's what he is, because he doesn't even know. He just knows that he's possibly eaten humans before, and he doesn't remember when he did it, but he just thinks he did, and but he's trying to understand humans too, right now in the story, which is why he wanted to have help out the main character, because she's called a Slay Beggy. It's a type of person that's like very closely linked to the fairy realm, and they're like a beacon because they have so much like magical potential. But the problem is they're too powerful for their own good, and they live very short lives because that old saying of the candle that burns the brightest burns the fastest. Essentially, they just like their bodies are too powerful. Their magic's too powerful for their bodies. So like she's always risking hurting herself every time she casts a spell. And it doesn't help that she's got very low like self-value because of what happened with her parents, and yeah, it's very sad, but it's a good story. Yeah, I like this. She's got like this wanted to make her since she's supposed to be a monster girl, like, or I'm gonna give her more modern clothing a little bit. So she's got this like long dress on and some boots. Sorry, I just want to focus. And she's got these longer, like arm gloves on. What is with this new? The only problem with this update is it changes my setup completely. So I might have to. I should have said. I didn't realize I would have to. It would change. That it would do this. So I have to like recreate mine after this, just so that next time I stream, I'll have it set up correctly. I don't like that I don't have my viewer window or any of that stuff like right here, because usually I can move it around and nope. There we go. Okay. Clean this up. Yeah, she's. Yeah, this is for the screen prompt for people who are just coming in. She'll be in the rain. Yeah, I like that better before. This is I just obviously needs a little cleanup, but I like the pose is good. I just need to. Yeah. Maybe I might even just change the pose a little bit too to be more kind of like haphazard kind of look to it. Yeah. Yeah. I'll play around more with her fashion a little bit. I thought some like lace would kind of give her a nice the fashion. Maybe like even like giving her some blacks and grays or something for her outfit. Might be kind of interesting. Maybe just like a, yeah, just black and white, really, just like harsh reality kind of thing where it's like, and then like for her hair, I'll do like a, oops. Give her like dark brown hair for because the other choice would be like a really, I think for this it might be more interesting, just more add more variety to do this instead, because people would immediately try to do like a red hair, but it's more than just red hair. Maybe the clothing's actually red. Or, yeah, let's try that. She is. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I like that. And then her gloves are actually her gloves are gonna be white, actually not black. Like her stockings underneath her fishnet is white too, to give more of a like. So now I'm gonna go in with probably multiply. What? Why is it? That's weird. It's darker here than it is. Did I change something? I don't know. Weird. I think giving her white skin is appropriate since she's a creature that it signifies death. So. Yeah. Because, like I said, I could make her scarier, but the point isn't that she's scary. She's not. It's more sad than scary. Apologies for starting with such a downer of a creature, but Scream just makes me think of Banshee every time I hear it, so I figured it'd be important to portray them correctly. I could always, if I really want to, at least for this one, give it a, not burn, not touch, burn. Yeah, kind of like that. And then I can, and then on top of that, I can put, like, nope, wrong one. Sorry, 1 second. And then add some. Oops. I almost, at first I was going to put her more in a field, but I think if I, or on a shoreline, but I think in a field of flowers, kind of white, like white lilies or something like that, or I'll try and think of some kind of interesting flower to use, but I think that might be a better choice. But for this, oops. Do like a Just give it like a this like diagonal, strong line work to like add some like a rainfall. So originally that's what this white was going to be, was oops, it was going to be like the water spatter on the ground, but it could be both. It could be kind of like give her like this like see, whoops. Oh, actually, that might be good for the corners. I like that. Oops. Where it's like I'll clean it up more, but I'm pretty happy with how this is coming out. Like, where she's. Make it darker than that. But yeah, you can just like kind of. I'll put in the more of the detail. This is just me laying the rough work for this, so I don't. Yeah. So that's good. Let's work on another prompt. How are we doing on time? Oh, not bad. Okay. Okay, okay. What are some other prompts? Today is 13, which is, well, moon, which we said, because that was 11. I just did. Why don't we do eyes next then, so we can catch up? Eyes would be just something, probably like, hold on, I need to get some water. Maybe just like there's a couple things we could do. Like oh, for a sword, I'm gonna make it a ghost. It's gonna be a ghost possessing the sword. That'd be kind of cool. So she'll just be like, but let's see. Eyes would be. Well, I have an idea. I know who we can do. What we can do for eyes. I'll redraw her. It's make a younger version of one of my characters. Doing maybe like a K-pop kind of pose or something. I don't know. I'm just thinking of something fun to give her. I'm just gonna like her. Showing some attitude. This is the moth girl, the moth pixie, because she has the wings that have eyes all over them, so she'd be perfect for this one. just off today with my posing. Oh well. It's okay. I'm tempted to actually make her skinnier. Actually, I'll play around with that here because she's a pixie. She's not human, so her physiology would be different. So, making her like more insect-like with a very thin like waistline would make more sense for her. Especially being a flyer, she'd want to be more like aerodynamic and thin. She doesn't have high heels, 'cause that would be a little too much. But she does have like these eyes all over her wings. To unnerve her enemies and startle them so that she can get the upper hand. Sorry. Yeah, the two of them, she's the speedster and they're both really high endurance. She's like slightly better at taking magical hits. And he's more about like brute force and just like taking brute force, I should say, is what he's like. He's the brains of the two of them because she's very impulsive and flies right into battles because, well, why wouldn't she? She's, like I said, she's basically, if she can take a major hit from a magic spell, then why would she need to worry? Plus, she's young. I mean, even though she's older than June, she's very impulsive for her type of species of. I mean, her type of pixies are, or especially her kind, are very like hot-tempered and very like quick to anger, kind of. Yeah, well, that's what hot-tempered means. But she's just quick and impulsive and doesn't really like have the patience to sit down and think things through just because of the fact that she's a pixie or the kind of pixie she is. Like they're just not known for that. But I do like how this is coming along, so let's keep working on this one. I gotta clean her up, although she's kind of a mess in some ways. But it's okay. Yeah. Well, I see. Put her down, hand down there. Okay. Yeah, making it so her front two hairs are the antenna from her moth form. I think making a couple different types might be better. Add to the unnatural kind of like feel. Yeah, I like this. This is coming on good. So. up something. Her entire midsection looks wrong because I made it too thin. So it didn't really match anything. I guess technically this isn't really a monster girl though, but it's fine. You know what? I don't care. Technically this isn't, because a monster girl would be more like if I did a character who was like creepier and had like maybe I'll even turn her more into a monster with another version, like make a further mutated or something form of her, where she's like been battle damaged and is like angry and more like the Fly kind of version of her, but with where she's maybe on 4 and the wings are out. Like the hairs are, maybe these two go up when she gets really frustrated. Like, I might make these ones more calm, actually. Change them to be... But she can, like... When she gets frustrated, she can, like, reduce... She can make a, hallucinogen with her, with the like the powder on her wings that makes people see the eyes differently, and they start to become more violent and more there's your spear. But yeah, I'll play around with this. I'll make... I kind of like this, drawing two different versions of characters. I want to try and clean her up a little bit. So, let's keep working on it. I didn't realize what time it was. That was me like looking at the time and being like, do I have time? I was like, yeah, I do. Good. Yeah, she's got like this powerful stance where she's getting ready to leap into the air and attack with her weapon. I didn't push her pose far enough. I think it's the part of the problem. It didn't help that she's kind of she's kind of more in a like, because of the shoes being changed, it kind of changes how the pose looks, because the reference was in high heels, which pushes the body in a different way, a little bit more even. So your ears a little bit longer. Yeah, she's got this, Bounty Hunter, I think bounty hunters are interesting characters in stories because they could be on either side of good or evil. Or just antagonists, really, because if you think about, like, The Fugitive, Tommy Lee Jones' character isn't a bad guy, but he's just pursuing the law. Pursuing someone he perceives broke the law, so, which is his job. So that's the other part that I did wrong. Didn't fix this. If your neckline is here, yeah. Yeah, that's better. It's like just fixing some of the anatomy and pushing the curves a little bit more and making her look more like her character. Like the frayed edges are purposely made to look like the eyelashes, kind of. So. This is coming along pretty good, I think. Like we have, this one needs to be cleaned up a little bit, and I want to fix the anatomy, but I like the concept is really strong, I think. Like it's might be kind of fun to put 2 per page actually, and that way I cut down on like file size, and I can give maybe they might just look more interesting that way. I don't know, I'll try for a few of them. I'm not gonna do it for all of them, but maybe a few of them I'll do 2 per page. This one's more about just like the concept and then the final. So I think I'm liking her so far. She's coming along pretty good. I'll show you really quick what I'm working on with the let's save so I don't lose this. I can spell. Okay. see. Where's that page I was just working on? Oh, here it is. This is what I was working on last time. We finished this on, or not finished. I worked on the concept for this on Friday. I mean Wednesday. So I think I'm gonna try and see if I can find a good pose for playing around with looking at a couple different poses here. Whoops. I'm just going to draw on top of it with a different pose. Let's make her more... Put her hip a little bit above, well, maybe like parallel, but not. I think that's the kind of, that's not a bad tangent, I don't think. I think that should be okay. It's worth a shot. Trying a different... a different pose. I'm liking this better already, kind of. Like her more in a more, just, I mean, I gotta clean up her leg, obviously, but because it's too low. Because it'd be more like she's resting her guitar on her leg, so. Show a hint of the spirit that lives in her, or that's like looking over her right now. That will become a part of her story arc. This forest spirit. Yeah. Cool. She's got the Miyazaki thing of like all her hair is sticking up like an angry cat. Yeah. I'll clean up her anatomy more when I get better reference. But I'm gonna step in the good direction with this one, and I'll clean this up this weekend. I think I'm gonna call it here because it's a good spot to call it. I'm kind of tired, but I'm glad I was able to even get this far. Honestly, I was not sure I was gonna be able to like. I apologize for starting late. I hope everyone had fun though. I had a lot of fun working on these ones. This is I'll work on I gotta figure out Moon. I don't know what I want to do for that. Cause Moon Monster. Maybe just make the head of like maybe make it like look like a moon or something like that, or well, you know what? Maybe an alien that, yeah, some kind of alien creature that I'll think about it. Or some kind of like luminescent, like a fairy. Oh, I'm trying to think of what kind. Probably some kind of like weird elf that is like has like a moon, like kind of like a outfit of some kind. Like, I'll figure it out. I'll look into those deities too, because maybe it's something I can pull from them. But I'm liking her though. I'm gonna do some more of these poses too. I think with these monster girls, because it's really fun to have start off with a base of a specific pose and then play off of that, because it's like, I don't know, they're all like dance poses, so it's kind of fun to start with something like that where it's very expressive. So, but yeah, I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I'll be working on this tomorrow on Twitch, but I'll see you all again next Wednesday. So, take care.